Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. Then we can be assured that other nations will not treat America with respect, the respect that we deserve.
What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and today, it is time we do another deep dive into the biggest tire fire of all elections, the Pennsylvania Senate race. And my God, this is the definition of a tire fire rolling down the frickin' street. This has been such a just messy race that we may have to do like 2 or 3 more videos on this. But today, it is time we discuss the Senate race in the great state of Pennsylvania. Some things have happened since the last time we discussed this. People got exposed and all that good stuff. It is a complete trash can of a primary. But before we get into that, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash that like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. I heard that loser is, at 4,000 followers. I wonder who that guy is. Go screw him. But for real, go follow that Twitter account, and yeah. So let's get right into it, folks. It is time we discuss the Pennsylvania race. Because, things have happened since last time. We've had a couple of debates to see who is truly the best candidate in this race. And all I will say is this. There are a couple people that 110% you cannot support. Alright, there's 2 people I would say do not support no matter what, because these people are just bad hombres. And there is one that I do think we have to unite around, because there's some things that, the candidate did in the past that he said, and even during the campaign trail he said he shouldn't have said, but overall is the best candidate in this race, okay? So let's get right into it, folks. So, there really is like 3 or 4, main candidates in this race. You got Kathy Barnett, who is surging the polls, according to the polls down here. She's apparently surging. According to Trafalgar, she was at 18%. Now, is that going to be that true? Who knows? But as of now, you got Kathy Barnett as one of the main, I guess you could say, frontrunners. You got David McCormick, I would consider one of the worst candidates running nationwide. There's some bad things about this guy that everybody needs to know before heading to a voting. Do not vote for this clown whatsoever. Of course, you got Dr. Oz, which would be the biggest subject of the video, and you got Carla Sands, which she has some bad demons also. Now, I know that you got Jeff Bardos, but it's like, who gives a shit about Bardos? Like, what is he pulling at? Let's see here. Jeff Bardos. Oh, 8%. Yeah, no. If you're under 10%, no chance. We're not going to talk about you. You're not worth it. So, yeah. You have 4 candidates that really have a serious shot of winning the primary. Now, before we get to the candidate I would say you should support, here are the 3 other clowns that you should not support. Now, again, I know the best overall candidate probably is Sean Gale, but the issue is he really hasn't gained much momentum, and quite frankly, he's too minor of a candidate to have a serious shot. But if he was a major candidate, I do think Sean Gale would be the best overall candidate. But we gotta discuss the worst candidate in the country. Seriously, he's the worst in this primary, but quite potentially the worst nationwide. I'm, of course, talking about this bozo here, Dave McCormick. This guy is a complete loser. One of the biggest losers in the country. Now, you want to know how bad this guy is? Look, Oz had said some bad things in the past about transgender kids, but it was taken out of context and it was more of a, health video or something like that. Either way, it was him saying stuff about it. Well, this clown here claims to be a true conservative, an America First conservative. You go here and look at this. LGBT rights, alright? This is bad, alright? In 2013, McCormick joined 131 other Republicans in signing a a brief filed with the United States Supreme Court supporting the legalization of gay marriage in 2013. So Oz, while he made shows about it, discussed the health consequences and stuff, which again, probably shouldn't have, but either way, he didn't act upon it. He just talked about it. This clown is one of the people legally pushing for the legalization of gay marriage. Great job, but it gets worse. Look at this. During McCormick's tenure as CEO of Bridgewater Associates, the company's policy was to fully pay for gender transition surgery. The CEO and his company, oh yes, we're gonna pay for gender transition surgeries. Hell no. This alone is disqualifying. But that's not the worst part. No, he's the biggest globalist on this campaign whatsoever. Free trade? Look at this. He supported the Trans-Pacific Partnership. He opposed U.S. exports. I mean, it's like, this guy's a loser. He wanted us to lose to China in trade. I mean, seriously, this is nuts. Absolutely crazy. Look at this. Read the sentence here. He has seemed to argue that the benefits of free trade outweigh the downside of displacing American workers, and suggested retraining those whose jobs have become obsolete. But he opposed U.S. exports, which gave advantage to the China military. Okay, the last half was okay, whoopee-doo. He's essentially using the coal mine argument. Oh, just learn how to code. What is wrong with this loser? And he shills for China. It's like, this guy's the worst candidate. He has some bad demons about him, and quite frankly, get him out! Don't vote for him. Don't even consider it. He's the worst candidate in this race. Now we get the second worst candidate, Carla Sands. I'm not going to spend much time on her because her campaign's failing. She's polling like 12%, and her fundraising numbers are pathetic. But all I'm going to say is this, all right? You go down to the endorsements of Carla Sands. Nearly every single ambassador known to humanity has endorsed her. That is bad. Look, if you don't know about ambassador jobs, these are traditionally some of the more, hawkish type of conservatives in the country. It's just a fact. And they all endorsed Carla Sands. Every single ambassador you can think of. That's not a good sign. But also, look at her past statements about LGBT. Everybody goes after Oz for it. But again, she was pretty much enacting policy, all right? As a, ambassador, I think it was Denmark. She was pushing for LGBT stuff in Denmark. It's like, what are you doing? You're enacting policy. You're pushing for crap. This is why I have an issue with Sands. Has no chance. But again, just like other people, she's shilled for the LGBT community as the ambassador. It's like you can't trust her as an ambassador. Why trust her as a senator? So yeah, Carla Sands at the window. Now you get what I consider to be the biggest fraud in this race, Kathy Barnett. First of all, look at who endorsed her. Vernon Jones. This is already a bad sign. But that's not all. Doug Mastriano, Tommy Lahren, this loser. This is not a conservative. She's a leftist, essentially. I mean, look at her social stances. These are not a conservative, commentator. It's bad people supporting Barnett. But also, she is essentially the next Blexit grifter. You don't know what Blexit is. It is a scam that, oh yes, black people will finally vote Republican. They've been saying that for what? 20 years now? It's a bunch of bullshit. And one of the other candidates, Sean Gale, who I consider the best overall candidate but has no chance of winning, exposed this. Look at this. She wanted a statue risen of Barack Obama in an Emancipation Memorial. What? This is Kathy Barnett that started this. The Emancipation Proclamation? Somehow Obama fits in. It's like, what? Why is Obama fitting into this? And I know it's Emancipation Proclamation. He may be a first black president, but he has nothing involved with it. It's like, this is a very, very bad sign. And I think this was only like 2 years ago. This wasn't like, 10 years ago or anything like that. This was only like 2 years ago. This is bad, bad stuff. So as you can tell, I don't like any of these clowns. They're all bad in their own rights. But now we get the one candidate that has been the most divisive candidate this entire race. Dr. Oz. Okay, so let's get this right off. Let's get rid of this right off the bat, okay? The whole transgender stuff, that's bullshit. Go watch the footage. He doesn't advocate for it. He just talks about it in like how this is a health issue. He talked about it in that matter. All right, don't listen to Jack Posobiec, who's been, by the way, one of the biggest frauds, exposed during this entire thing. Oz is a complete, he has said bad things and stuff in the past. However, it's out of context, most of it. When you read the full context of what he said about transgenderism, all that stuff, it was more in the light of, hey, this seems like more of a health issue than, normal. So yeah, it's one of those things, but again, you can make the argument that he may have said some bad stuff in the past. But the whole crap about, he's a Turk, he's a Turkish citizen. First of all, Ted Cruz is a Canadian citizen, so again, it's like, I don't really care. But there are serious security concerns when it comes to Turkey, because, well, you have a sort of nut job over there as president. But here's the reason for Oz, people should ignore this. Just watch this clip here. This clip is from Oz from like 2 nights ago explaining why he has a Turkish, citizenship. All right, just watch this here.
How do you feel about dual citizenship with other countries, especially being a civil servant, as you would be as a senator?
Thank you for asking the question. The reason this is coming up is because of my opponent making a big deal about the fact that I was born in this country, but my father and mother, as I mentioned, were Turkish immigrants. So by Turkish law, you're allowed to keep your Turkish citizenship, which I've kept for only one reason. My mom has Alzheimer's. Ben knows a lot about that ailment. It's a horrible disease. 6 million Americans are afflicted by it. My mom lives in Turkey with it. And you lose your loved ones twice. You lose them when they forget you, and then you lose them when you lose them. My one sister has mental health issues, and so I have a restraining order against her in Turkey. This is a lot of dirty underwear, but it's the reality, and I'm pretty transparent about who I am. So I maintain my Turkish citizenship so I have custodial control over her health care. And I would compromise that if I gave it up. However, I've agreed, because this is a distraction, that if I'm elected, if I'm honored to allowed to be serving you, that I will give up my Turkish citizenship before I would have served in the Senate. But I know I shouldn't have to, and to answer your question, there is no issue. There have been other senators who are dual citizens. Ted Cruz was a dual citizen. But I don't want there to be a distraction about this. I know I shouldn't have to, and I can love my mom and I can love my country at the same time. But this is politics, and this issue has come up, and I don't want it to be in the back of anyone's mind, well-meaning or not. And so I've already made that commitment. We've found ways with my family to address this.
So, as you can see from that clip, it is not for like, oh, I'm a proud Turkish, well, I guess he is a, Turkish citizen, but he only had that Turkish citizenship because, well, his mother had Alzheimer's. Well, she still does. And essentially, her crazy sister, look into it, is a bad person who, if Oz didn't, have Turkish citizenship, she would potentially have custody of her. So Oz did it for, actually good reasons. And people that say, oh, well, he served in the Turkish military, that was in like the 1980s, I think it was, or something like that, for like 2 years. But that's compulsory, military service in Turkey. So it's like, okay, that's not the problem. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, well, he voted in a Turkish election. I'm not going to defend them on that part. But again, with Turkey, I'm 87% sure it is compulsory to vote as a Turkish citizen if you're in Turkey. So maybe one of those things that it was just bad time he had the vote. Either way, though, I'm not denying that it is a security concern with the Turkish citizenship. I think he voted once or whatever. But he is, rescinding that Turkish citizenship. And he only had that citizenship for an actually good reason. So yeah, I hope people understand that the tax on him for being a Turkish citizen, a lot of it's bullshit. A lot of it's disingenuous. They don't really look into why he has the citizenship. Again, he was, he is Turkish, so that's why he has citizenship, but it appears he only has it now for family and personal reasons. So yeah, that's why I think Oz is the best overall candidate. On economics, I mean, I think he overall is the best. I mean, he's talked about issues that matter, healthcare plan. I mean, look at his healthcare plan during the debate. He talked about, hey, we need to actually have a real healthcare plan. It was a good debate performance by Oz. I think it was probably the best. And I do think he is the best overall candidate. But again, there is a chance he turns into a bust. But at the same time, there's a serious chance he turns into a star. Or I guess that's what you could say. The other clowns, though, not so much. You have like an 80-20%, or for McCormick's chance, 100% that he's going to be a rhino and one of the worst Republican senators in the country. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.